Oh man, we live, baby. We live. We lit, baby. We lit. Right about now, I'm coming to you live from the Titans TV podcast studio. So welcome. Yes. So again, family, this is what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to be inviting the most prolific scholars in the community to come down and sit right over here. Right over here, to be interviewed by myself, of course, okay? And we're going to get some debates as well. So debaters will be coming on the platform as well and could be sitting down, okay? Again, in our studio, right? And we can be hosting debates right here in the studio, like just world class. As you can see, the cameras, yeah, look at my head, it's shining. The 4K resolution is 4K-ing. Yeah? Family Tree, are you actually with me though? Because I don't see anybody online right now. Ooh, okay, so we are live. That's perfect. Jeez. Listen, I'm looking at it right now, yeah, and it looks amazing, yeah? Family Tree, if you could just drop some comments, right, in the comment section right now, let me know you're here with me. All right, because I'm doing this for you, okay? Technically, I've been just relaxing, okay? And I'm realizing, I'm really deep in it to be saying I am selfish because the resources that are available at my fingertips, yeah? I'm not bringing in the community to actually enjoy with me, okay? And I think it's time for me to do that. It's time for me to bring in those big boy names that you all love to come and sit down and have these conversations, okay? To have great discussions, to have some great lectures. Literally, David, on the big screen, we can be hosting lectures. Can you just imagine it? Let me just stand up real quickly, right? Imagine. Whoo, sugar, that was wild. Imagine the lectures taking place right here. They're doing presentations on the screen right here. Like, can you just imagine how that's going to look? That's going to be crazy, okay? Imagine as well, we're going to be hosting debates. I would love to actually, like, you know, switch the camera around. Ooh, can we switch the camera around? Let me put this down. Let me put this in. Should I say? Okay. David, you might have to come and help me here, you know? I don't know. All right. While we're doing this, I'm going to unscrew this. So where we are. Can you hear me? Family Tree, let me know. Yeah, the audio level is going up and down. So imagine right here, right? We can have the sit down affairs. The sit down will be taking place. Just follow me. Okay, you might not be hearing me loud, but follow me. The sit down will be taking place. Let's see if we can switch to another camera. Let's switch to another camera. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's zoom out, right? Where is the sofa? We can have the sit down affair on the sofas, right there. Yeah, group discussions. Or we can turn around, right? And we can have the one-on-one interviews in another spot, okay? This is what we could be doing. Let me just put that back where it should be. All right, cool. So, yeah, we back, baby.
Should be live again.
We live, baby, we live. We lit, baby, we lit. So yeah, family, okay? Again, I'm going to try to bring some great stuff for you guys, okay? And let me know if you're looking forward to it. Let me know, okay? Because as I said, I've been gatekeeping a bit too long, and you guys have been hollering at me every single time I step outside and somebody be like, oh, Titans TV, yo, Kalam, oh, go on, Speaker's Corner, all right? All of that. And I'm just not doing anything because I may be burnt out. I don't know if I'm burnt out. Am I burnt out or not? Not really. I just think there's just more to life, okay? But I'm back. Like, I actually miss you guys. So I want to be back. So let me see. What's going on over here? Let me just check the comment section. You know me, I love the comment section. See what you guys are going on with. KOV, what's good? MLEW. I'm going to spell it out because I don't know how to pronounce these. Great Rising King, what's good? Patrick Norman Park says, online okay. This is next level, Titans. Jeez. My girl. Sis Kaba says, brother Kalam L, great to see you. Setup is sick setup, Callum, says John McDermott. What's good? You lot love the set. Great. I feel like Israel gets unfairly treated on the world stage. What do you think? Okay. See, this is where I get a bit you know, my views are always controversial, yeah? Okay. I don't know if it's because I have a lot of Jewish friends that I'm like, stuck for a lot for saying this year, but I'm like, actually, no, let me not even get into trouble today. Okay. See, this is where it gets controversial. Okay. Because I've got loads of Israel friends and they're giving me the rundown of what's taking place when the bombings are going on in, you know, in the area, in their parts of the world, in their city, basically. And they give me rundown and stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they show me another perspective of the whole situation. I'm like, all right, cool still. And I'm like, has the whole world forgotten what took place to kick off Israel doing a madness right now? You know, which was, what was it, 7/7? I don't know. What was the date? 7/7 when the whole attacks took place in Israel. When Hamas, like that, and they went in and they done a madness. And and I'm thinking to myself, this is why I should never be a political leader. I've always said it, right? Like, politics and religion are two things that you shouldn't really discuss around the dinner table, right? But religion is so controversial, I'm okay to speak about it and not fear death too much. Okay, I know when we go Speaker's Corner, we have the crazies, that do threaten my life and talk about acid and stabbing me and stuff like that. Yeah, we do have those crazies, but I'm okay. But if I ever got into politics, I'm sure I'll get assassinated. Because what Israel is doing now, I think that is completely bad. It's completely wrong, 100%. How many hundreds of thousands of people are dying and all them things there. But I know me. I would have said, listen, I'm wiping out everybody. I can't lie. I'm wiping out everybody, 100%. Yeah, I've read too much of 48 Laws of Power to tell myself, what does it say? Law number 15, destroy your enemies totally. Do not leave a smoldering wick. So when I saw what happened on 7/7, I said, Lord God, like, that is it. That was just a provocation that Israel needed to do what they needed to do. And that's exactly what they're doing. There is going to be no more Palestine or whatever it is. I don't know. Whatever the Arabs, whatever it is, there's not going to be no more of that. It's just going to be, there's no two states, blah, blah, blah. There's none of that. There's just going to be Israel standing at the end of the day. 100%. That's what's going to happen. There ain't no stopping it. And that's bad. Like, that's bad. I'm like, easy, because children dying, kids, you know, humans, like people just full stop that had no, I don't know, they had no beef in it. They're just simply living in the wrong place, and their government or the government has decided to do an atrocity, and clearly this is going to be the response to that atrocity. Like, I completely understand it, but it's like, God damn, man, like, Anyways, let me not even go there, because it hurts my heart just like thinking about the casualties and the death that will take place because of what happened on 7/7. But let's not forget 7/7. Yeah. Okay, cool. Still waiting for the Jin presentation. Oh shit, that's old school. For real. I feel like Israel gets on. Okay, cool. I've read that. Jay Boogie says, fire! Oh, man. Okay, yeah, 7th of October. There you go. I stand corrected. 7th of October. Politics and religion, endless debates. Yeah, 100%. I've had a few people in my time like said, yeah, get involved with politics. Get involved with politics and this, and they're feeding me political information. And I'm like, And you know, like, most of them are like black nationalists, like trying to say, like, do a whole black. I'm like, hell no. Hell no. What, me? I should do that. No, I'm okay, you know. I'm okay. I've got a life. I've got family. I've got children. Like, I'm okay. I'm not even trying to, like be no Malcolm X or nothing like that. Did I tell you that Malcolm X is actually one of my great uncles or something like that? You know that? I didn't even know until like I done the whole like search and realized on my Grenadian side, like he's like literally. Anyways, that's another story for another day. But yeah, man, I'm not trying to be assassinated at all. But anyways, family tree, let me know, man. What are you saying? You loving the quality? Are you loving the quality? Let me know in the comment section if you're loving the quality. Let me know also like what you would like to see on the channel. I've already told you I've done like a list of scholars that I'm going to get on the platform. I've just realized that we have the Americans and other European scholars as well, right? But I need to get people. I need to go to like Oxford and what's my good one? SOAS University, all these different universities that really go into like solid history and information that you guys like, right? I need to go and find them, collect them, and tell them come to the studio in London. Come down. Let's have a sit down. Let's have some conversations. Let's reach people, let's educate them, right? So I can't wait for that. But I need you guys to just give me like, people that you would like to come on the platform, especially if they're in the UK, let me know. But yeah, this is just a quick one just to kind of showcase and I'm loving the logo in the background as well. I literally just created it this morning because I was like, let me just do this today. Yeah. Yeah, do it again. Yeah. Jeez. Let me look. Hey, that looks so good. That looks good. Let me bring this mic away a little bit. Yeah. And let me bring your laptop. Nope. This laptop down a little bit. Yeah. Why not? Titanstv, baby. We live, baby. Oh, man. Yeah. I'm feeling him. I'm really feeling it. Okay, I really respect you, Kalam, because you always were good conversations and good manners, always stood on business. So many dummies tried to be aggressive because they couldn't completely compete intellectually. Loving the quality, looks smart, loving it. Perfect. So yeah, family tree, it was just a quick one. I've been doing a few of these quick live streams just to get you guys excited that like my intention is to come back. My intention is to come back. And I want to be motivated to constantly be around and stay committed to delivering great information with you guys, right? And I'm just thinking it's only because, when you realize like I'm in the latter half of my 30s now. So when I first started Titanstv, I would have been in my 20s, right? In my 20s, life was a bit different, Life was a little bit different where, I had time and I had the spare money and resources, to just, pontificate, and create content for you guys. Like hours spent, recording content, hours spent editing content, hours spent, doing these podcast live streams. We sometimes do 4-hour long live streams and then behind closed door, we're still doing another 4 or 5 hours off air and we're not going to bed till 5, 6 o'clock in the, like me, I'm an old man now. If I try to go to bed, past 2 a.m. in the morning, hey, I'm cranky, my neck, I'm not the same. I don't have that energy no more. Going to Speaker's Corner, spending like an hour and a half, like commuting to Speaker's Corner, the good old days, like the good old days, and then spending another 10 hours standing up. Listen, my back now, I got flat feet and my back. Yeah, I can't do that. No, I'm not a spring chicken. So yeah, family, I can't do all that anymore. But I definitely do want to come back and just, like bring some intellectual curiosity back into the community. I want to bring some objective, critical thinking back into the community. I want to bring some real controversial information back into the community. I want to, ignite thought and conversations again, because to me, we don't really get that. We don't really get the other side of the view. Just when I was talking about, the right wing and whatever things there, I always come different. Like everybody be like, Kalam, you must support Palestine. Kalam, like, don't you think the right wing far right and did it? I'm like, I don't know any. I guess I know a little bit too much, And that's why I keep saying it. Anytime somebody asks me, so Kalam, why don't you convert to Islam? Why don't you convert to Christianity? I just know a little bit too much that makes me think outside of the box, and I just can't fit in because I don't think the same way that everybody thinks. So it's hard. I would love that, to have a community that I can just be behind and back. But it just doesn't work with me. I just like, let me create my own community of free thinkers, critical thinkers that don't need to be, force-fed information. They can receive information and they can critically analyze that information. Does that ish make sense? Yes or no? Like, I like that. I like that about my community. We like to just analyze and be critical. But anyways, I'm waffling on a bit too much. I'm just going to read a bit more of the comment section. Then I'm going to keep it moving. But yeah, welcome again. Welcome to the Titanstv studio, where we shall be having some very formidable guests coming on. And I will be reaching out. And I need your help. So in the comment section, again, I'm asking you, please just drop me the individuals you would love to see come on Titanstv. Do that for me, please. All right, cool. Styles Mono says, good to see you back. Silent listener here. Cheers. John Mack says, always edifying back in those early days. Right now is the best time to have all the debates and get good speakers running up, my G. 100%. Come on, Kalam. Come on, Kalam. Older, but a nicer setup. Looking smart. Jeez. Long time no speak. It's been years, Kalam. Official. Hey. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, family. So this is it. Dave, am I missing anything? Do I need to say anything?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I see you watching a little bit of Joe Rogan over there. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure.
Yes, please. Come and sit down. David Wood. I'm going to control the camera. Okay. Real quickly, could I get you to... maybe come this way. There we go.
That's right. I can see him in front of it.
Perfect. Let me get your mic.
What are we going to do here? Yeah, we'll get over here.
Somebody stole my my Remy Martin bowl. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they did. I left it out there because I had one of my clients, they're Muslim. So
right.
They're take away, there's a hand
right.
and the bottle. And I took it away. And for some reason I left it.
Right.
And then it just went missing.
And then somebody walked off with it.
Yeah. £300. $300. From America. Can you imagine?
That's harsh.
Yeah. All right. So if I can get you to just introduce yourself.
Hi,
let the people
I'm David.
Yeah. Not David Wood, by the way, but David.
No. I run a media company called Future Hand Media, and I have several clients, and some of the clients record here in Kalam Studio, which is why I'm here today. And I run a podcast network, loads of shows. We talk about AI a lot and how AI impacts business. But aside from that, personally, because I think this is more of a personal show, isn't it? Born and raised in the U.S., grew up in Memphis, been in the U.K. for 25 years. And I can also be slightly controversial in my views.
Let's go. Let's get into it.
Let's
get into it. Because we've got some time. So
yeah, where are we on the...
Well, we are on 25 more minutes to spare, technically.
Oh, all right, here we go. Then.
Yeah.
All right.
So your channel is about AI.
It is. Yep.
Give us a nice, blurb overview of your channel.
Well, my podcast is called Creatives with AI. And what I started off about a year ago, really because I work in a creative space. And in that office, people were already losing work at the beginning when ChatGPT very first came out. So there were copywriters in my office who literally lost 100% of their business overnight.
Wow.
Like March, they had business. April, they didn't.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was massive.
Yeah.
We're just like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
And I just thought podcasting's big. Sounds like a bit of fun. And I knew a bunch of people who were creatives, and I just thought, well, let's have a conversation. And so, it just started from there. So I just started having conversations with people, and a year and a half later, I've talked to everybody. I've talked to everybody from people working in defense, to artists, to musicians, to filmmakers, to all sorts of people. And it's been really interesting to see what's happened over time, because really, I think everybody was a bit sort of excited in the beginning. So everybody was just like, wow, this is really cool and it's amazing. And then everybody got a bit scared. And even I was saying, look, I want to be the canary in the coal mine because, you know, I think there was potential for it to cause massive disruption across a lot of businesses. And I still think there is.
Yeah.
I do think it's going to take a little bit longer than we thought. But what's been really interesting, though, is to watch things like software engineers and creative people actually now starting to use it. And I almost call it augmented intelligence or assistive intelligence.
Yeah.
Because really what it is it's almost like having someone to work with. And artists and software engineers don't use it to write all of their stuff, and artists don't use it to create all of their art. What they do is they use it to brainstorm ideas.
Yeah.
And so they'll go in with some sort of. I talked to Daniel Bedingfield.
Yes,
the musician,
you're telling me
right?
about this.
So I had Daniel Bedingfield on.
Set the stage for us. The Daniel Bedingfield stage. Come on.
Well, I met Daniel Bedingfield at the AI Summit.
Okay.
So I was there on a press pass and interviewing people and covering the event. And he was just in the press room doing an interview with someone else.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was. Not a clue.
Okay.
And all these people were sort of, you know, interviewing him. I'd seen him interviewed like 2 times. So while he was there, I was uploading a video. And I went over to the ladies that worked there and I'm like, is that someone I should know? Like, should I know who he is? And they were like, well, I don't know. You know, if you were here and you listen to music, it's Daniel Bedingfield, you know, pop star, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And I was like, all right. And he was just saying some amazing stuff about using AI in his creative process, which is why he was there. And he used it in his presentation at the event. He used it to create music live on stage. Okay. But, you know, but I heard him talking about it and I just said, hey, when he got done, I just said, hey, you know, I have a podcast on AI and we talk about this stuff all the time. And it was really interesting what you were saying about blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, you have a show? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, well, do you want to do one? And I was like, what, really? Now? I was like, do you have time? And he's like, do you have the kid? I'm like, man, do I have the kid? Yeah, I got the kid, mate. I got the kid.
Let's go, baby. Yep.
And yeah, so he and his producer just sat down, and his producer, Fernando Garibay, was with him.
Yep. And
who did a lot of Lady Gaga. Yeah. So he was up for a few Grammy Awards. He's done most of her work. He's written a couple songs, co-written songs with her as well.
Yeah.
Which was really interesting. So it was quite interesting to get his point. But Daniel Bedingfield in particular was saying what he found really interesting about using AI was he could sit down and have some crazy idea like, what would it sound like if I mixed Bhangra and drum and bass? Yeah. And he could just put it into AI and go, create some samples. Yeah. And it would go away and do it. And he could listen to it and go, oh yeah, fuck, that works, man. I like that. He's like, I like that. Cool. And then he'd get up and go do it himself.
Yeah.
Or he'd listen to it and he'd go, nah, that's terrible. I don't know. You know. Yeah. And I know an artist who has a fine arts degree. Yeah. He hand makes ceramics and stuff. So he's, I would say, a proper artist, right? Yeah. But clients come to him and say, hey, we've got a hotel chain and we need 300 different, watercolor paintings for the rooms. Can you come up with some ideas for us that we can choose from? He's developed a very special prompt that he's used over time, but he can now create stuff in his style. Yeah. And he's like, sure, here's 200 ideas. Choose the ones that you like. And what he does is he ends up curating what the AI comes up with. Yes. Then they say, okay, yeah, we like these ones. And he goes away and paints them. Yeah. And then he delivers them. And then, like, not all 200, but he'll do the first one. And then they make prints like they do with any other art. But he can use that for the ideation piece.
So literally, the ideation process is just a major hack. Yeah. Because that just, how much time it takes to come up with a good idea.
Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard.
And you could just do that with click of a button, just typing in a few prompts, learning your particular brand, your particular style. Yeah. And then go ahead. Let's go.
Yeah, there's another company called Exactly .ai. And if you've got anybody listening that's an artist or whatever, what they do is they've built an AI tool that you can upload your art into, but it doesn't train any other AI. It's literally like your own AI.
Is this what's called machine learning? Educate me.
Kind of.
Okay.
It's the next step on from machine learning. But at its core, it's machine learning. But then it's like machine learning on steroids.
Okay.
But what exactly does, though, is that you can basically say, I always use Annie Leibovitz, the photographer, as an example. So Annie Leibovitz could literally upload every single image she's ever taken.
Yeah.
And then she could say, well, what she could do is she could then take that model that she's trained and make it available to people to say, hey, if you'd like to have a portrait that looks like I did it in my style, upload your profile picture and the AI will do one that looks like I did it.
Yeah.
And it's a $5 or 10 pounds or whatever. So she can sell that as a tool that people can use and she can make money off of it. Or she can keep it totally private and she can use it to create her own art and do it for inspiration or however, whatever she wants to do with that as well. So, there's different tools coming. And the good thing about that one is that, again, it doesn't go into the general model. So you're not training an AI tool for somebody else just to take your copyrighted work. It's literally just for you to use.
Sick. Listen, family, if you're tuned in right now, beg of you, hit the like button, okay? Because I've got a sneaky suspicion that I need to not only just have this as a live stream like this. Right now, I've got it on multicam, like literally what we have on the big screen right now, right? Yeah. This is what I have streaming. But I think I might have to start putting the little memory cards in there right now and actually hit the record button because we're getting some great stuff. Why not? Why not? I need you to filibuster for me. Give me a minute. I'm going to put the memory cards in because this is good. This is good.
Love it.
This is content right here.
Well, I mean, I can talk about loads of stuff. One of the other interesting people that I had on early, actually quite early when I really started first recording was a guy who used to be an admiral in the Royal Navy. And he was talking a lot about how AI could be used. The funny thing is in the very beginning, we had a pre-show interview, right, a chat. And he said, look, I don't want to talk about combat because it's controversial. And, and I was like, well, that's fine because you probably can't say anything super interesting anyway. You know what I mean? Like all the good stuff that he knows, he couldn't tell us anyway. So I was like, fine. On the day, he says, no, actually, I've decided I want to talk about combat. So I'd prepared a whole load of questions, specifically not about AI and combat. Yeah. And then we just had to have a chat. But the most interesting part of that whole conversation, and this gets sort of back to the topic you were talking about earlier, is he said, well, the rule has always been, anytime it relates to war or combat or anything like that is that, we won't use AI in combat to kill, right? Like the kill command will always be given by a human. And he said that about 4 or 5 times. And then later in the conversation, he said, we were talking about it and he said, well, humans will always give the command. Unless we're in a situation where it needs to be otherwise. And I was kind of like, oh wait, so you've just given the caveat that, and I think what he was getting at though, is I was like, that's the killer answer, right? Sorry, I keep looking around because he's like walking around.
Directly at that camera. That camera is for you.
I know. But I still keep looking around. But yeah, and I was like, that's it. Like the whole interview, I was like, that's it. I got the quote that I wanted. I mean, that was the most interesting thing because it's all the rules. And that, you were talking about Israel, Palestine, like all the rules are rules up to a point and then everything changes. So they'll use, they'll say, yeah, we've got drones that are AI powered and they can fly around on their own and they can identify targets, but the human will always give the command unless there's no time. And then maybe the AI will make the decision, or maybe our enemies have their own AI. And that's going to be the tricky one, is if you get in a situation where you've got a combat situation where you're fighting against an AI. So we have to have our own AI to combat that because a human will never win against an AI. There was and again, anybody out there listening, if you want to go scare yourself, there's a show on Netflix. I think it's still on there. It's called Killer Robots. I want to say it's like unknown killer robots. And it's about 4 or 5 different small segments all woven together, but talking about AI. And one's about AI in medicine, and one's about AI in combat and some other stuff. The coolest one about combat, though, is they basically trained AI from scratch, from zero, knowing nothing. They trained it how to fly a fighter jet, like an F-16. And then they ran simulations against a Top Gun pilot with the AI fighting the other plane and the Top Gun pilot. And look, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know the answer, cover your ears for the next couple of seconds. But I don't think it's going to be a surprise to anyone that the human pilot lost within like 2 minutes every time. And what was interesting was the pilot's analysis of why he kept losing. And he said because the AI adopted a strategy that no human would adopt, which was attacking directly from the front. Because when you're a fighter pilot, that is the most dangerous situation, because the other pilot can shoot you down because you're directly in front of their guns. So if you're a fighter pilot, you only ever attack from the side and from the back. And the AI learned very quickly that no one wanted to fight from the front, so it would just attack from the front. And it would just take them out because it had no hesitation of dying. And that, in a combat situation, is, I think, a very interesting way to think about it. That if you have no fear of dying, you become a completely different type of adversary to fight against. And that's what we're going to be fighting against with AI. Forget the rest of it, being able to make decisions super quickly and being able to do things at a speed that no human can keep up with. But it's more about how it approaches those types of situations as well, that it like, you just can't compete with it.
Jeez. Okay.
And it gets back to, to your wiping out the enemy.
Yeah.
I mean, frankly, I totally agree. If you're going to win a war, you can't leave anybody left.
Yes.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's how wars used to be.
Yeah.
If they came in, they were going to come in and take over somewhere. They took over.
Yes.
They killed everyone.
Everybody. Yes.
Or at least all the men and the male.
All the men. Leave the women and children.
Yeah.
And that's going to be our spoils or beauty of war.
But the female children, they'd kill the male children as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you come in and you take over. Mm-hmm. You then breed yourself into, or them out of existence is sort of the idea.
Yeah.
And look, that sounds totally fucking sorry, language.
Savage. Yeah. No, go ahead. Okay, we do it.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
But that sounds totally fucking savage today. But the world used to be a savage place.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think a lot of people forget
just
how savage the world was.
Yeah.
We have this very thin veneer of society that's on the top of it. Mm-hmm. And if anything happens, that goes away. Yeah. We are still all savages.
Savages, yeah. We're all animals at the end of the day. Jeez. Okay. Family tree, talk to me. Are you enjoying the conversation so far? Again, this was simply to let you guys know we're back on Titanstv. We'll be having studio settings, sit-down conversations, interviews, discussions, presentations on the back wall as well as discussions. Sat-down discussions, like podcast-style discussions on the sofas, etc. So this is what we're going to be doing in the future, and I'm hoping, you guys will be able to participate some way. I want you guys to give me referrals of individuals you would love to have on. Again, I've been missing from the scene for a little while. I've been trying my very best to catch up with what's going on, especially over in America. We've got Sarnet TV. Like, that's literally the hub for me. Whatever's popping there, I know, let me look at these other individuals, okay? I know Umar Johnson as well has recently done some stuff, and that was going a bit crazy. So that's quite interesting. And of course, I've been tuning into, the Christians, with like God Logic, Sam Shimon, David Wood, Apostate Prophet, all these different individuals to see what's going on in that sphere. I'd love to get some of these guys on the platform as well, especially they came to the UK. Can you imagine? You remember the time where if anybody was coming to the UK, they will holler at me to be like, Cal, I'm coming to the UK. Let's do some promo shows on the channel first. right? Let's go and do, Speaker's Corner. Of course, that's like a stop off place. Let's go and do Speaker's Corner. Let's go to the museum, do museum tours. Let's set up, lectures and events in like the bookshops and different venues. Like that was me. I was that go-to guy. And we have the greats coming in. I'm sleeping, innit? I'm sleeping. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be on TV no more, mama. Leave me alone. Yeah, literally, leave me alone. And when I say mama, I literally mean mama as well. My mama like hollers at me to be like, see, boy, I tell you, you should have been during what's it called, COVID. You should have been on the screen. Everybody's eyes was on YouTube, etc., etc., etc. Where were you? I was like, Mom, do you know how much money I was making during that time period? Yeah, you don't even know. I don't even want to tell you how much because you'll be looking at me like, son, like, so why? Yeah, and and you want me to come on to YouTube for how many hours? I can't. Yeah, and then my business folks, if they see me with this particular crowd of individuals, yeah, and they think I'm associated and I'm like them, I'm like, no, I can't do that, mommy. I'm sorry. Like, I can't lie. Yeah. I'm a businessman. Business comes first always with me. Okay? Always. From the time I was 16 doing college, that's why I studied business. After that, university, business administration. This is what I study, right? So always, business always comes first, and then my passion projects come second. Okay? So forgive me, that I didn't come on and grace you guys with my presence, but business had to come first. I had to feed the family, okay? That's literally the short and long answer. Right, family, we're going to keep on going with this particular show segment because, again, these are the types of individuals that I would love to have come on to the platform because these are the things that, I don't know, in the community, it's like we just want to talk about social issues, cool, that's affecting us, cool. And then we want to talk religion, cool. But let's talk about like AI. Like AI is literally taking over. AI is transforming the world as we know it today. Okay? And do you know what? The other day, actually, funnily enough, I was having a conversation. I told someone something. It was not in a debate, but it was a discussion. You know what they did? They went straight to ChatGPT to verify what I was saying. And ChatGPT literally gave I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. So technically speaking, everything that I do, because when I, talk to my audience and I'm talking on a specific topic, I bring in my academic background. So do you know how many journals, if I'm speaking on one topic, I have to read like about 50 different types of journals. Yeah. Like 10 different textbooks just to make one point that I'm sure I'm correct in saying what I'm saying. Yep. AI, it does that within like 3 minutes.
You have to be careful though which tool you use to do that because some of them can just make stuff up.
True.
Because remember, they're not, it's like a person in a funny kind of way. Mm-hmm. But all it's doing is trying to predict what word should come next after the last word. And it's just constantly iterating through. Yeah. It's like that cartoon where they have the train and the train's driving and they're like laying the track in front of the train.
Yep.
That's what AI is doing, literally. Yeah. So it's constantly just putting the next word. Yeah. It's amazing that it actually makes any sense. Yeah. But it does.
Yes.
So but some tools are better at it than others, and they've been trained using data in a different way. Yes. So if you want to ask questions and get correct information and stuff like that, use something like Perplexity.
Okay.
Perplexity is very good. It's more like Google, but it gives you better answers. Mm-hmm. But the information tends to be more correct. ChatGPT hallucinates a lot. Yeah. But if you want to write something or you want an outline for how do I approach this argument, or if you want to talk about a topic and you can say, what are the 3 most important things I need to mention when talking about this topic? Yep. That's where ChatGPT comes in really, really handy. So it can help you formulate the structure of something. So I use it a lot of times if I have somebody on that maybe I don't know so well.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, I knew everybody that I had on the podcast because it was all my friends. Those are the only people I could get on.
Yeah.
But over time.
But now that you've grown so much, after like your first year was when, sorry?
In May.
May. And could you just let the audience members know what your channel is?
Creatives with AI. We're on Spotify, Apple, all the platforms. And we also have a sister show, which is called Women with AI. And that's hosted by a friend of mine. And she focuses purely on the impact that AI has on women in the workplace. Okay. And also a lot about how the data, there's a lot of, I don't want to say it's biased. Mm-hmm. I think that's a highly inflammatory way of talking about it. But a lot of the data that exists is male data.
Yes.
Because it's traditionally been men that did a lot of the roles and did a lot of the work and that sort of thing. Doesn't mean I'm not making any judgment about it. I'm just saying that's the data that's there. And so the models get loaded with information that's mainly male. Mm-hmm. And so it does have an impact because it doesn't represent maybe what the world is like now, or there's a much more complex ethical question. If you want to dig into that, mm-hmm. which is, I think is a little bit more interesting and maybe more around the topic of sort of your channel. But
cool. And let me jump in real quickly with that as well.
Yeah.
Continue that thought. Okay. I've got lady friends that say, especially Apple phones.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me look good. But if I use a Samsung or Android phone, I don't know if it's to do this. They're saying that there is a black bias or white bias that if you're a black person, it doesn't look as good. But if you're a white person, it looks good. But when they use the Samsung or Android phones, they look amazing. I don't know if they're, because obviously it's using AI. So is there something with that? But anyway, that was the side topic.
Let's
really
keep going. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't had that conversation. That's really interesting. I don't use Apple phones because I do a lot of video and a lot of audio, mm-hmm. and I don't like iPhones because I don't like the color science that they use.
Okay.
So it could just be because everything comes out a bit sort of goldy yellowish.
Yes.
And so that could be why, just mm-hmm. because across all its images, it looks that way.
Yes.
But that's really interesting. I've never heard that. But yeah, I prefer Android just because I think the images come out better anyway.
100%. John Mack, I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to ask you a question soon, so don't worry about that. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a little step into the dark art of AI, sort of. And this is something that I think is a much deeper ethical question about how we want our society to be, right? So a good example of this is somebody in Google, Gemini. So they went into Google Gemini and they said, give me pictures of the founding fathers in the U.S. And what it gave them was a multicultural group of people. It gave one that looked like they were from India. It gave one that was black. It gave one that was a woman.
So the woke.
And like whatever. And it's like
the woke programming. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was the perfect example of woke. I call it woke fuckery, but they're trying to eliminate a bias.
Yeah.
I understand what they're trying to do. So they're trying to say, if you ask for a founder, mm-hmm. if you just show me pictures of founders, it's like 98% white men.
Yeah.
Yes, there are other founders, but that's what you get.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is we want it to be more representative of different people and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But that's fiction. Mm. And I'm not sure if as a society we want a tool like AI or some sort of technology tool that relies on actual data to just make up stuff mm-hmm. based on what some people, at the minute, some people in California, some tech bros in California think is the right thing. That's the right thing for them. Mm-hmm. It's probably not the right thing for you. Yeah. It may not be the right thing for me. Yeah. It's not the right thing for my wife or my daughters that are in the US or anyone in India or like any individual person. We're all different. We all have our own biases.
Yes.
And my concern is it's not the ethics of it necessarily, but we're getting into a situation now of we're saying, but whose bias is more important than someone else's? Mm-hmm. And I fear we're going to go down the same track because it's the same dudes that are making the decisions.
Yeah.
That have always made the decisions.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you think about that, but it's, for me, there's like, I almost think that AI should be even more strict to the data that it has, because then it's a mirror.
Yes.
Right. And I don't think people like the mirror.
That's right. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I mean, look, I'm hands up. I'm from the top privileged class. I get that. A white male, you know, whatever. But
How tall are you?
6'1".
Jeez.
Well, 6 feet. Now I'm
Member
old.
of the dominant society, being white. A male privilege.
Male privilege.
6 foot plus.
Yeah.
It's all. I'm guessing that your your income stream is over 100,000, quite clearly, because you know you're a member of the top 1%.
Obviously.
You know,
obviously, yeah. You've seen the bike I ride, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Listen, it's a Ducati, and that's just one of his bikes. Yeah, he's got a whole.
That's it.
You know, what's it called? The garage.
Garage, yeah.
Yes, I've seen it. I've actually been to his house. He's got another house in Singapore. Okay.
Between the Lamborghinis. Yeah, that's it.
Oh my God. They're literally on different floors as well. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Family tree.
I'm sure the family tree has no idea what to think about me. What was the question? There was a question.
Yeah, there's
Sorry,
a
I was
question.
ranting there for a second,
go.
but I'm interested to know what you think about that, though, because again, for me, that as I've had this discussion over a long time, that's what's really started to come out is you know, who gets to decide?
Yeah.
And I think this is the thing, and the Western liberal, you know, there's a Western liberal politics, and then there's the U.S. is very different. Like even liberals in the U.S. are still probably to the right of what liberals here are, because the whole political spectrum has shifted over.
Yeah.
I'm probably messing with that. But, you know, and you've got Australia, and you've got Brazil, and you've got, I don't know, South Africa, and you've got Namibia, and you've got Ivory Coast, and you've got just everywhere, Japan.
Yeah.
They're all different. Everybody has completely different morals and biases and ideas. And I don't understand how we make all that fit together. And that's the thing that worries me, is that we're going to start presenting something that doesn't exist because we're trying to accommodate everybody. And then we're going to end up in that same situation that people complain about with social media, where we have kids with eating disorders or committing suicide because they're seeing influencers who are faking pictures online. Do you know what I mean? And they can't live up to those ideals. Well, guess what? Not a single person in the world is going to be able to live up to what AI is putting out because it doesn't fucking exist.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about. Is what is the psychological impact of that going to be down the road? It's not just can it do our work and are we going to have a paycheck? That's actually the most minor part of it. I think it's going to can truly screw us up.
Jeez. See,
what do you think?
You've just taken me somewhere. Okay, cool. Like my mental bandwidth, it can't keep up with that. 100%.
But it makes sense, right?
Yes, 100%.
Like, at one level. And it's slightly unfair because I have been thinking about this for a long time. But you know, that's the thing I think that's the important thing that we all need to really think about is how do we fix that? And I don't know. I don't know how we fix that.
Okay. I'm never usually speechless. And I usually have something to say. But you've actually blown my mind with this one where I don't have anything to say. And this is what I'm talking about, family. Because, again, it's been a long time since I've actually used my mind to actually think. No, I don't want to talk like that because it's going to sound...
This is a different topic.
Yeah.
It's a different topic.
It's a different topic.
To be fair, and this is a new topic and it's new for all of us.
But...
So...
My mind is doing this. It's like, but yeah, this is... It's too much. It's too much for me right now. Sorry.
Like I have a whole... I'd love to come back and rant another time. I have a whole nother topic that's would probably be hugely controversial for me to talk about in particular.
Okay. I'm loving that. Let me do
We'll save that one.
Let me do this for now, okay? And then I'm going to ask you the question. So let me filibust, and then you just double check that, and then we'll get back into it. Okay, so we're going to ask, just to keep your mind ticking over, we're going to ask you this question. Do you think that at some point AI will be classed as a sentient being? And then somebody asked here, so AI can construct the truth, or AI construe the truth? Construe the truth. Okay, cool. That's what we've got so far, but we're going to get into that. So family, again, back at it. I'm literally here with you guys to show you guys that we're going to be doing some great interviews, discussions, presentations, debates in the studio setting. Obviously, it's absolutely beautiful. It's amazing. Like, it looks great, right? We can all agree that it looks good. The quality is amazing. I hope it is. Okay. So yeah, we're going to be doing things like that. And again, I just need your help to just let me know who you would like to have on the platform, especially if they're in the UK or if they're visiting the UK as well. If you can just holler at them and then get them in touch with me. And then, yeah, I want to facilitate some of these great conversations. Oh, man, it's the return of Kalam, says Cognitive Dissonant. Jeez.
I think this worked.
Yeah? God damn. Oh, my gosh.
Oh my God.
I'm not even, let's not even discuss
You guys have
it.
no idea what's been going on in the background, but it's worked.
Yeah.
There's videos here.
Yep.
And it looks
Trust me.
it looks like they're here.
Listen, we have been panicking, yeah? Deep down, we've been panicking. Because you don't even want to know what the up that we ucked up on, yeah? It was out of our control, to be honest with you. And we've fixed the problem, you know? I love that about us. We can actually just, instead of panic externally, because a lot of people panic externally. I'm one of those people that panics internally, externally, straight face, like nothing is going on. I'm not phased.
Like a duck.
And then in the background, I'm like, okay, how do I problem solve? This is the problem. As long as we could identify and diagnose the problem that we have, we can come up with a solution. Let's work brain. And our AI specialist worked brain, came up with a solution. And yeah, we're here.
And we got lucky.
All right, perfect.
Done.
So family tree, I'm going to get you to answer this question actually, and then I'm going to keep it moving.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. 7 o'clock is
It's 7:30.
7:30. Look at that. See, I've got my alarm clock. 7 o'clock. That means it's time to eat food.
Yep.
Dinner time, and then bed. I'm up early tomorrow. Actually, no, let me not go there. I was going to tell you about a conversation I had earlier on. So, do you think that at some point AI will be classified as a sentient being?
Yes. At some point.
Okay.
I think if I had to guess, I would say based on current technology and the amount of computing power that we have available and how expensive that is, I think it's probably unrealistic until we really get quantum computing.
Okay.
I think as soon as we have a reliable quantum computing solution and you start running AI on a quantum computer, I think that's when we're really going to see a massive step forward.
Could you just define to me what is a sentient being?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I think a big part of it is, and this goes back to what I was talking about on the combat thing, right? At the minute, AI has no concept of life and of itself. So it has no concept of self. I think until it has a concept of self and a self-preservation, right, kind of feeling,
Yeah.
I think that's when it's really going to become what I would call sentient, right? Because even animals that, like they do the test, the mirror test, right, with animals, and then you get an animal that looks in a mirror and they attack it because they don't understand that that's them.
Yeah.
And you can also see it in babies. If you've ever had your own kids or little babies, in the beginning, little babies don't understand that that's them.
Yeah.
But at some point, they develop a sense of self. And once they develop that sense of self, they then realize that that's them, right?
Yeah.
And so even in animals, though, once they start to get injured or whatever, they will run away because they have this sense that it's self-preservation. They just generally don't fight to the death. Like
Yeah.
they will eventually run away.
Yeah.
And I think at the minute, the AI tools and stuff don't really genuinely have that, or at least not that we've seen. Now we see, as I've mentioned, the highly filtered, regulated, rules-based versions, right? What happens when they have no guidelines behind the scenes? I reckon that's a pretty scary place.
Jeez.
So,
Terminator for
you
real,
know,
for real.
but
Okay.
I do genuinely think before we get to something that we would call sort of general intelligence or a sentient sort of intelligence, I think it's going to take something like quantum computing. And don't ask me to explain that because it's super complicated, but it's like 1,000,000 times more calculations in the same amount of time for 1/10 of the power.
Yeah.
So it's going to solve a lot of the power problems that we have. Don't quote me on that. It's and don't at me if I get it wrong, but it's going to solve a lot of problems. It's going to solve a lot of the power consumption problems, a lot of the cooling problems, and it's going to solve it. I mean, it's going to totally blow the doors open. Like all the cryptography, everything that we have at the minute, all the security and everything will be totally blown out of the water. It'll be able to crack that stuff in seconds.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they just won't use it to make better security, right? So they'll use it to make better security and so we'll have an iteration.
Yeah.
But I think it will completely change the game on AI.
Okay. So I want to know actually, in the next 5 to 10 years,
Yep.
what would be the most transformational impact that AI will have on us in the UK, our day-to-day lives?
In the next 5 years.
Yeah. Or 10. Because I remember we was having that conversation about
10's so far away.
what's it called? Self-automated cars or something like that.
Oh, self-driving.
Self-driving cars, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think again, I think it's going to increase productivity for people. It doesn't mean we're going to work any less, unfortunately, but it just means we're going to have to do more in the time that we have. But what I do think it's going to do is it's going to take away a lot of the low-level work, the boring work.
Yeah.
And it is going to free us up. Like software engineers, what they found is that they use AI, and I just posted an article about this today, I think on my LinkedIn, or it goes out tomorrow, about the fact that they use it for things like QA or bug fixing. So they can give the code to it and say, this isn't working for some reason, why isn't it working? And the AI will come back and just fix it instantly.
Okay.
And they can do things like QA on it to test it. And they can put it in a rig and say, test this, and then it can come back and give suggestions and it can improve. But what it means is that humans can kind of do the thing that humans are good at, which is making random connections and coming up with ideas and being able to be original with things.
Yeah.
And we won't end up spending so much time, frankly, doing all the BS work that none of us want to do anyway. We can hand off a lot of that.
Yep.
And it will free us up to do more creative, more productive type of work that I think that humans are better at.
Yeah.
I think we're already seeing it have an impact on things like junior workers in the workforce. So you're going to, I talk about this all the time. I had a podcast about, how AI is impacting the creative industry, and I use all the AI so that I don't have to hire anyone.
Yeah.
And I could never have done the podcast in the way that I do it myself in the past.
Yeah.
It's only possible because of AI. And, that means I don't have to hire, I have hired an editor now.
Yeah.
Right? Because now I've got so much work that I can't do it all myself. But, for a year, I didn't have to hire an editor, which I would have had to do in the past. I didn't have to hire a PA because I would have had to do that in the past.
Yeah.
I would have had to have a guest manager. I would have had a team of 4 or 5 people to do and deliver what I delivered.
100%.
Right?
100.
And that's only going to get worse. But what it makes me worry for...
Or you'd be working 16 hours doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes me worry for the kids like my son's age. My son's 17, so he's just starting to get into the workforce.
Yeah.
And those those entry level jobs really don't exist that much anymore, because the experienced people with a bit of AI can just do them themselves, and it's faster and cheaper.
Yeah.
So where are the senior people going to come from? Because we're not hiring them. And we're not training them.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I don't know. You know, you studied business. You were just talking about that a minute ago.
Yeah.
My son wants to study business. And I'm like, okay. And that's great. But like accounting is going to be 80% automated.
Yep.
But that 20%, that's going to be the hugely valuable specialist. Like that's where the chartered accountants come in. Yeah. It's not doing the bookkeeping. No. It's not generating the reports. Nope. It's AI not doing the forecasting.
Literally does that right now for me on my banking app. I could just go straight there, put all the information in, and it just spits it all out for me.
Yeah, Zero, all the tools, like whatever. It does everything for you now. Yeah. But it's going to get even better. Yeah. So you're not even going to have to do the bookkeeping. It's literally going to do everything for you. You know, the best one, I was talking to someone, and I was at a book launch. Wanky, I know. I was at a book launch, and I was talking to someone about it who was an accountant, and I said, oh, you know, AI is coming for accountancy. And she said, do you know what? It would be amazing if it would write my monthly report for me. Yeah. Like, how good would that be? And even if it just generated the first draft. Yeah. Right? And then I could just edit it. But at least it would do all the basic KPI reporting. It would do all of that, but it would analyze it. Yep. And it would write all of the copy that needs to go around it, the explanation, all the stuff that goes in the board report. Like, that would be amazing. Yep. You know, when it can do that. And I've seen a tool, I can't remember what it's called, but I've seen a tool that basically does that now. And it's like, it just runs across all of your financial stuff. Yep. And as long as your sales pipeline is up to date and your CRM is up to date and all that sort of stuff, it will basically do your whole sales and financial report for you at the click of a button.
God bless AI.
Exactly, because I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's going to do that type of work for us. And I think over the next 5 years, realistically, that's probably all it's going to do. And it's going to help us be more creative and do some stuff. And
basically, the grunt work handles that highly specialized work and creative work. Yeah. That's where we come in as humans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll still be here at 8 o'clock at night. Doing this
100%.
Because this is fun.
This is fun. This is literally fun. Again, my problem was I was doing all of that grunt work by myself. Yeah. In the early days, 10 years ago, podcasting, all of that. Yeah. All of the marketing, Facebook, Google, everywhere. Editing videos, everywhere. Now, technically speaking, you could just put it in the AI app. Few prompts, spits out everything. Well, most of the things. But there was one thing I do realize that, especially script writing, when somebody does posts on social media, I can tell, okay, that's AI. Yeah. That's AI generated. You can see it. When I listen to like the expert reels, I call them, and I'm like, this is all AI. Yeah. This is all AI generated scripts. Like, give me a bit of your personality. Yeah. Like, give me something that's human. And I think most people that are doing that, it's like they don't realize you're missing the trick. Like, even the mistakes in a podcast, leave it in.
That's right.
Like, people want to feel that human connection.
It's the authenticity. Yeah.
100%.
As we were talking, we were doing some recording earlier. Yeah. And with one of our clients, and they kept reading it. Yeah. And I'm like, it made me realize though how good voiceover, like professional actors and professional voiceover people are, because you can give them some written words and they can read it off a paper almost cold. Yes. And it just sounds like they're talking. And that is so hard to do.
Listen. Oh my God. Lucy Hedges.
Hard to do.
And Lucy Hedges in here as well from the One Show.
All right.
She does a lot of work on the One Show, but she came here to do like a voiceover. But she also had her director, like, we had the camera set up like this, and giving her feedback and stuff. And it's like literally just the script and then the intonation and like the tempo of how she speaks, everything. I'm like, wow, like, do you know how long that to craft yourself, to get good at that skill itself of actually talking and articulating yourself and enunciating words? I'm like, wow, I need to learn this. Yeah, I need to learn this. 100%.
It's just practice.
Yeah,
but they've done, Yeah, I mean, I did some acting classes when I was young, and did a bunch of like Amdram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the best piece of advice that I ever got that has really in it, it works with anything like this or any like being on stage doing pitches, like whatever I've had to do.
Yeah.
Is there's a power of the stage or the camera or the microphone or whatever.
Yeah.
But the trick is that when you're there, people expect you to do something.
Yeah.
So do something.
Do something. Yeah.
It's only bad if you get up there and then don't do anything. That's when it's embarrassing and everybody's just like, oh my God, like do anything, even if it's stupid, even if it's funny, even if you make a mistake, just do it. Because that's the power of it.
Yeah.
And you're up there. And so people expect something.
Yes.
And I was like, wow.
Mate.
Even at the time, I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But as I got older and I started my own company and I had to go to raise money, I would go to these pitch days. And I'd be I'd be nervous, like physically
shaking,
nervous.
Yeah.
But then I'm like standing there and I'm literally saying to myself, right, they expect you to do something. You better get up there and do something.
Yeah. Jeez.
And even if I was nervous and I thought my voice was quivering and whatever, I just get up there and do something.
do it.
Like there were these two guys on. Sorry, I'm just like,
no, come on.
I think we're going to turn this into a Joe Rogan episode if we're not careful. It'll be like 9 o'clock.
Listen,
Our wives are going to be calling going, where the hell are you?
I'm hungry. I'm letting you know from now. I'm hungry.
All right.
So I'm trying to eat some food. Wait on. Wait. Before you continue, I'm just trying to think.
Go on. Has anybody been saying anything?
No. I'm just trying to think. Do I have any food to eat in the first place when I get home? No, I think I'm going to have to go Sainsbury's yet again to buy a salad. And this is my little hack here. Let me just tell you my quick hack.
All right,
get a salad bowl. It's like a big salad bowl for like £3. Then I get like a chicken tikka, chicken breast, something. And that's like £2. I put it on top. I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. That's a whole meal for myself. It's giving me enough 240 grams of chicken breast.
Yep.
So I already know that's at least 50 grams of protein that I'm eating.
Right.
I'm trying to get the gains in, I'm trying to get the gains in. So I'm like, yeah, cool. It's semi-keto-ish with the salad. And then, okay, cool. Go on. You were talking.
So the worst one I ever saw were these two guys got up and they were partners in a business. And they'd obviously worked out and they'd rehearsed and they had their parts and all that. They got up to do it.
Yeah.
And they got about 45 seconds in.
Yeah.
And one guy forgot his lines.
Yeah.
And the other guy just stood there and looked at him.
Oh, no.
And just left him.
Oh, no.
And we were all sitting in the audience going, oh, my God. Yeah. Like, rescue him.
Yeah.
And he just let him stand there. And it felt like 15 minutes. It was probably only about 45 seconds. I can imagine how long it felt to the poor guy who was just standing there floundering. And, oh, my God, it was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever seen. And again, like his buddy should have done something.
Yeah.
Right? They just stood there and did nothing.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it was like,
because they've got a plan.
Terrible.
They had a plan and they were sticking to the plan. I'm going to wait for you to get back on the plan because I don't have a plan B.
Because I don't think he knew the other guy's part anyway.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, that's the problem with memorizing stuff.
100%.
Right? If you get lost.
100%.
Like, I got a whole other thing. I'm a Freemason as well. And so a big part of being in Masonry is that you have to learn the ritual.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
Taylor,
you have to memorize, you have to memorize it and you have to know it.
Yeah.
And what we were taught was learn it from the end to the beginning.
Yeah.
Because what usually happens is you learn everything from the start to the end.
Yeah.
And you get really good at the beginning bit because you say it a million times.
Yep.
Right? And then you get to the end and you start to forget because that's the bit you don't know and haven't said so much.
Yeah.
So they're like, start with the end bit and work back. Ooh. And then that way, if nothing else, you get stronger as you go along.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a great piece of advice as well.
Okay.
But anyway.
Yeah, for me, I remember from university times. Okay, that's the first time that I had to do presentations.
Right.
Because we never did that in college. We never did that really in school at all.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I was like shaking. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
What's going on with me? Like, why am I shaking? I'm nervous to go up. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Again, like my favorite book. This was my Bible back in the day. 48 Laws of Power.
Yep.
Law number 18. Enter actions with boldness.
Yep.
Whether I know it or not, I didn't practice. I was just there.
Yeah.
And my vibe was just relaxed because I realized I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So if I'm nervous, what's the opposite of being nervous is just being relaxed. So I used to just be there, just jamming. Like this was my presentation.
Yeah.
I'm standing up or sitting on the table
Yeah.
and I'm like, let me relax and let me just talk. Right. And I've seen so many people freeze up in front of these cameras.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, I don't get it. But I've realized that throughout my years, I used to, when I started podcasting, I used to hate looking back at myself.
Yeah.
Now I look back at myself to learn what are my,
Yeah.
idiosyncrasies. That's just, it's not good. I realize I say yeah a lot. Yeah. I'm talking, but I'm like, yeah. To kind of like catch you guys to make sure that you understand me, but I'm repeating myself too many times. I'm like, I need to stop that right there. Somebody else told me, you don't look into the camera much. And the reason why I don't look into the camera, because that's where the fear comes in, because it's not a person that you're speaking to.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to look at somebody and podcast this way and talk to somebody.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really done much in person. So the whole vibe of doing it in person is really, really different. And it's exactly kind of how I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Exactly kind of how I thought it would be. Yeah, that makes sense. But it's like I thought it would be.
Yeah. Because I need to be relaxed.
It's so much better.
Yeah. Because looking at a camera, like, it's just hard, cold. Like, you don't.
I mean, it's fine once you get used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can look in the camera and I can talk in the camera, and that's all right. And I don't feel too much pressure doing it. In fact, I've kind of figured out ways. Like, I like to look at the reflections of the light in the glass and stuff. It's almost like looking at.
Do you know, I'm a narcissist. So, like.
You're looking
other
at
cameras,
yourself. Can I see
would,
myself?
yeah, literally, I would flip that. You see the monitor that we have on top of there? I will flip it back, and I'll be looking at myself here, and I'll be like, you handsome motherfucker. Yeah, let me talk. I'm talking to you, Kalam. Yeah, that's how I roll.
Yeah.
Family. Listen, we're here too long. I'm hungry as it is. Like, we've been going on for quite some time. If there's any questions that you lot would like to drop, we have the AI specialist here with us right now. If you want to ask any questions pertaining to AI,
or anything,
or anything, shoot your shot. But personally, I'm trying to keep it moving.
He wants to eat.
I want to eat. I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to go home.
Really gotta eat.
I go home, drink a little bit of Cavassier with some food, and I'm trying to just relax myself. I've got to be up early and back in the studio early in the morning. Let me quickly read this. I can't lie, I have heroes of AI. Could AI end up being the arbitration of the truth? Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting question.
Truth is subjective, but at the same time,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Let him cook.
Who's truth?
Cook.
Who's truth? Yeah. All right,
Mm-hmm.
we can get into that. I think the AI news could be really interesting.
Okay.
Because then it's a factual. It doesn't have the thing that AI doesn't have on that is it doesn't have an ulterior motive.
So objective.
Whereas people do.
Yes.
And I don't know, people who are my age, I'm older than I look.
Yeah.
And I grew up way before the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had a black and white TV when I was a kid.
Internet came out in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, I had a black and white TV when I was a kid.
No, but I had black and white TV
So,
too. But I lived in another country, so.
So did I.
Okay.
But there we go.
Yeah.
But no, not being funny.
Quick one, just for those out there. Who remembers 1, 2, 3, 4, and no, we didn't even have 4, but we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and fuzzy 5. But before 1, 2, 3, 4, there was just 1, 2, 3. Who remembers that? That will tell your age. Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought now.
Sugar.
We got distracted by black and white.
Yes.
TV.
Truth.
Arbiter of truth.
Truth. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that's it. Thank you. Journalists
Mm-hmm.
used to just report the news, and there was no personal opinion. Like, journalists were not known for their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't follow a journalist or read their articles because we wanted their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
We liked the way that they wrote about something that happened,
Yes.
but we don't care about their politics or where they came from or what they personally thought about something.
Mm-hmm.
They were just telling us what happened.
Yes.
And we have moved so far from that. Here in the UK, for example, we have The Guardian and we have The Telegraph. They report the same incident with two completely different views of what happened. I don't want your view of what happened I just want to know what happened.
Yes.
And so I think that AI could be a really interesting tool that could separate some of that.
You're giving me a
Right.
business idea. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Kalam.
well, yeah. But it's like a football score. You know that this gets back to the whole Buddhist concept of emptiness,
Yeah.
right? And detachment, but emptiness mainly.
Yeah.
That you watch a football match and it's 1-0 and it's Man U versus Arsenal, and Arsenal scores one and Man U doesn't. Like, okay, for half the people that's a bad result, half the people that's a good result.
Yeah.
It's just a result.
Yeah.
There's no good or bad to it.
Mhm.
It's just that's what it was.
Yeah.
And every person is different. And so just give me the story. I just want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to take some story of a big storm and then I don't want to couch it in all this political stuff around,
From a capitalist perspective, I'm just thinking that's not going to this is where I come in now. That's not going to make me any money. How
Yeah.
do I make it sensational? For both sides then. How do I make it
I know.
sensational?
Good news.
Yeah.
Good news never pays,
Yeah.
right? There's so many people have tried it. Good
Yeah.
news stations, good news radio, good news TV.
Yep.
No one cares.
No one cares.
As humans, we want to
partisans.
see
Yeah.
bad stuff happen to other people,
Yeah.
which is terrible in a way.
Yeah.
But it's true,
You're on
isn't
the
it?
motorway, you're driving, there's a car crash,
Yeah.
slow down.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank God that's not me.
Yeah.
But that's,
There's a leg hanging out. Oh,
Yeah.
God. Okay.
but at the end of it, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's and news. I used to work for a company called the Newspaper Licensing Agency. Anyway, really boring. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah.
But one of the things I did learn when I was working there is that news by itself has never paid for newspaper or journalism or anything.
Yeah.
It's always been the ads.
Yes. Yes.
So no one will actually pay enough for news to cover the cost of producing the news.
Yeah.
So it's always been ad supported.
Ads. Yeah.
And so even it used to be the classified ads,
Mm-hmm.
all those little, for
Things,
a lot of
yeah.
people won't even know what those were, but they were
Yeah.
little ads in the newspaper. And you used to have like 10
10.
pages of couch, blue, £50.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
pick up, like whatever.
Good
and
days. Good days. Yeah.
and they were
You'd be
cheap. But
you have
the
to
thing
circle
is-
it,
That's
tear
right.
it out, ring up the number. Yeah.
That's how
yeah,
we
yeah.
got jobs.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of the jobs were listed in the newspaper.
Yeah.
And you had to go buy a newspaper. On Sunday was the best one.
Wow. Okay.
You'd have a whole section, and you'd literally go. You'd have to circle it, and you'd have to pick up the phone and call them.
Yep.
It was crazy when you look at it now, and
Yeah.
what the world is like now.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a long answer to the question. Yeah, I think AI could potentially be a really good tool for doing some of that stuff and taking some of the opinion out of things. But again, it depends on who's made
Who's programming it? There you go. So family, okay. I'm gonna apologize. I'm hungry belly. I want food in my system. You've been here for quite some time. You've actually had no food for this period of time. So tell me before we finish up, because you also have another channel, which is a YouTube channel, and you've been discussing your journey with food.
Yeah, I have.
Give me some insight with that. Talk to me.
So my YouTube channel is called Steak and Sanity,
Steak and Sanity.
and it's about my journey on the carnivore diet.
Cheers.
So like you,
Yeah.
I took a little bit of a break. So the past couple of months, I've the wheels fell off,
Yeah.
and life got in the way.
Yep. As it does.
What's really interesting is that I had a couple of events that I went to where I had drinks, and after I had the drinks, I ended up coming off the diet.
Yes.
And I think a big part of staying on the diet is not drinking.
Alcohol.
At least for
100%.
me.
Yes. No.
But it lowers your it lowers
That's
your
right.
resolve
That's right.
to want to stay on the diet, and then then the crack, right? And it's a little slip, and you go, oh, I'll just have a little bit of this, and then the next thing you know, you're eating Pop-Tarts.
Do you know what it is? I've realized because I was testing this, right? I get chocolate, dark chocolate,
Yeah.
85% dark chocolate,
Yeah.
and then 70% dark chocolate. I can eat cleaner. 85, I can have like one square
Yeah.
of the 85. Cool, that's me. I'm happy.
Yeah.
This is what I needed.
That's right.
I'm happy.
It gives you that little that you need. Yep.
The 70, I'll eat the one. okay, let me just eat the second one because it didn't fill me as it should have felt
Yeah,
filled me.
yeah.
Then I realized at the end of the day, I'm eating another one.
Yep.
And I'm like,
It's tough, man.
it's hard. It's hard. And then again with the whole alcohol, nah, for me, it's not the alcohol though, but I do hear that with the alcohol because one bad, because it affects your sleep, one bad sleep, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to go. And because I go out, I do my morning walk, Crystal Palace Park, like 45 minutes to 50 minutes walk around the whole park.
Nice.
And I go gym afterwards. But if something goes wrong in the day, like if I don't follow my routine, like if I come off my routine for a little while, like I've been away on holiday from like the end of July till now. And I haven't really been back to the gym properly. Yeah. Because I've broken my habit a little bit.
So hard.
Yeah.
Same with the gym.
Yeah.
You know, and I had a long journey and I lost, 3 stone and stuff like that and did a bit of running and whatever. And, before COVID and then COVID hit and it's been a long,
So is that 3 stones on the carnivore diet?
I was doing low carb, not strict carnivore.
Because that's what I did. I did keto.
Yeah, keto,
Keto with insanity. High intensity interval training.
Right, okay.
That's Sean T. Like that.
Yeah.
Within 3 months, I lost 3 stones.
Yeah.
Literally every single month, I was just losing. I think if you go back about 4-5 years ago on my channel, Speakers Corner stuff or Speakers Corner, you see me, I was like looking gaunt. That's what they say, gaunt.
Yeah.
Like, just takes it all away.
Well, a lot of it's water weight as well.
Yeah.
So I find when I'm training, I was running 10K 5 days a week.
Jeez, 10K.
Yeah. So that was like my just daily run. Was doing 10K.
Okay, I can't.
But mainly on the treadmill, and I just did it in the gym because I traveled with work a lot, and I just shout out to Pure Gym.
Jeez.
And I joined Pure Gym because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So if I was in, it didn't matter if I was in Exeter or I was in Manchester or I was in Aylesbury or I was in Edinburgh. Like it didn't matter. There was always a Pure Gym there.
Yeah.
So when I reserved a hotel, I always got a hotel that was by the gym.
Yeah.
So I could go to the gym. And I was extremely disciplined. But it all started because basically I thought I had a heart attack.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And I wasn't doing the cardio to lose weight. I was doing the cardio to not die.
That's it.
And I'm like, I need to improve my heart strength.
Yes.
And the weight loss side effect is nice.
Yep.
But it really wasn't about that.
It's about your health.
Yeah, it was more about my health.
Yes.
And I now start to find if I think today I was like 97 kilos or something like that, which is too much. I need to be less.
You weigh less than
whatever.
me. You weigh less than me. God damn it.
You got more muscle than I do, so mine's more fat.
Okay.
But I find if I get much higher than that, then my heart starts to act weird again.
Yeah.
So I kind of have an upper limit of weight that I can't really go over.
Yeah.
And I did it once and it sort of went up to 99 again and then my heart started freaking out. And I was just like, okay, I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah.
And so I'm pushing on that limit. But again, I'm doing like 3 different jobs at the minute. So I'm doing the podcast production. I have my own shows.
Yep.
Then I'm doing client production that I do on the side. And then I have a contract that I work as well.
Yeah.
And so, and I just find like I'm just knackered at the end of the day. And I've got out of the habit.
Yep.
And I've made excuses. And I'm like, I'm just struggling to get back in it. Anyway.
Yes.
Steak Insanity. So there's like 6 months of every day of me doing ridiculous daily updates on what I'd eaten, how I felt. My dad died during that process. So there's some, some interesting sort of stuff for me reflecting on my dad.
Cool.
And I really enjoyed doing that. And I started it because I wanted to get better at video editing, not from any vain thing. Yeah. And I didn't expect anyone to be interested or ever, frankly, even find my channel. And I kind of didn't want them to. Yeah. But I did want to publish it because I knew if I recorded it, but then wasn't publishing it, there was no skin in the game. Yeah. So I knew if I was publishing it, I at least had to try to get better because I didn't want to be embarrassed by the crappy content that was out there. Yep. So you can see from January 3rd when I started, or 2nd when I started, You can actually see my little studio that I have at home. You can see my studio grow and change.
Yeah.
And the lighting get better.
Yeah.
And the sound get better.
Yep.
And all that. So my skills sort of improved.
Yeah.
And then, later I started doing recordings in my office, and then I did some outside, and, started to grow and get more confident in that side of it and all of that. And there was some weight loss to talk about. And there was some other stuff because, again, I didn't do carnivore diet for the weight loss. I did it because, again, I have the heart stuff, but I also have, I get tendonitis and I get arthritis really bad.
Yeah. So
and if I don't
diet.
eat, if I don't eat sweetener, I don't get that. So the elimination part of the diet was really interesting. So I could kind of play around with things. I find, so I still don't have sweetener.
Yeah.
In anything. If I'm going to have a Coke or a soft drink, I just drink this sugary drink.
Okay.
Because if I drink a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero, within an hour or two, my joints will start to hurt again.
Okay.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah.
So there's still some things that I don't eat because I know it's terrible. And I don't eat wheat really. I mean, if I go to an event and all there is, there's bread or sandwiches or whatever, I might have one if I'm starving because I'm like, okay, I need to eat.
I need fuel for my body.
And I don't want to be an asshole to people because I'm hungry, right? And I don't want to get hangry and then just, be difficult. So I'd rather just eat something. Yeah. But given a choice, I just don't have it. So
see, this is why I'm.
Now we're talking about food and we really need to go because neither one of us have eaten.
But I already know because I think, I don't know if it was it Andrew Huberman, but he was talking about it. Somebody was talking about it at the age of 44. That's when we have like a shift.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we start to age rapidly. And I'm
there was 2 spots, 44 and 60.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. I saw that. Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I'm creeping up to 40 right now. So I'm like, listen, I need to make sure I want to look like a silver fox, right? Yeah, I want to look good in my 40s.
But you got to start now.
Exactly.
You've got to continue it. That's the thing.
100%.
I mean, it's so difficult because I'm 55, so I'm pushing the 60 barrier now. Yeah. I can't even believe I'm saying that. Yeah. But because I had a massive period in my life. When I was younger, I trained loads. I ran athletics. I ran the 800, which is the bastard of all races. Yeah. And stuff in high school and, did a bunch of stuff, played basketball, played sports my whole life, did all that sort of stuff. Yep. Got married, had kids, then kind of fell out of it. Yep. Over my life, I've kind of gone up and down in weight and all sorts of stuff. And then I got divorced. And when you get divorced and you're out on the market again, then you get skinny.
It's time.
You get skinny, so you get back in the gym, start doing some exercise. And anyway, so I've kind of been up and down. But what I find is trying to go back to the gym in your 50s, it is so, so difficult. Yeah. Like, I've got no hope of, I'm not going to put on any muscle mass, but what I can do is I can still increase a lot of the strength in my joints and my tendons and that sort of thing and really try and make that better. Yeah. So I do, this, maybe we can talk, that's a whole nother show we'll talk about maybe sometime, but I do really light weights, but high reps. Mm-hmm. And what I find is it doesn't actually hurt my muscle. My muscles don't get sore. Yes. My connective tissue gets sore. Okay. So all my tendons and my joints and stuff is what actually gets painful. Yeah. And so when I can't walk, it's not like it used to be you go and do heavy squats or something. It's like your muscles are sore, you can't walk.
Feeling that, yeah.
Now it's my tendons. And it's like my ligaments and my tendons and everything that hurt. Yeah. But so keep doing it. Yeah, 100%. Because it's so much harder to try and get it back later. Even if you just, and this just as well as I do, sometimes it's just go to the gym, even if you don't feel like it. Yeah. Go. Yeah. 5 minutes. Do one thing. Listen, you know what? You win.
I realized you don't want to know how much I spend on my gym membership because it's crazy. It's a club membership. Let me call it that. Yeah. David Lloyd. So
yeah, okay. Yeah.
I'm like, the only way. Yeah. I'm motivated. I used to be there 20. I checked. It was 26 days out of a 28 or 30 day month. I'm only missing 4 days. That means each Sunday. No, it wasn't even a Sunday. It was just another random day. Yeah. I'm not at the gym because otherwise Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would be my day off. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, tennis. Sunday, I'll still go into the gym, but spa. Yeah. Listen. There's no way I'm falling off. That lifestyle is too sweet. I got introduced to spa living, sauna. After every, the sauna, I'm like, oh, that feels good. The cold plunge as well. Oh, that feels good.
It does actually. It's really good.
Listen,
so good
it's
for
like
recovery.
crack. No, it's like crack though. I'm telling you, if you go into a cold plunge, like, I won't lie to you, it's the most uncomfortable feeling whilst you're in.
Yep.
But as soon as you come out,
straight into the sauna.
No, I don't do that. Okay. I feel like I'm on top of the world. Like, I've got energy for days. I'll wait 5 minutes for my body to just naturally cool down because it helps with the whole brown fat and your mitochondrial thing and all that stuff. Wait for it to cool down, my body to naturally do that. Then I jump into the sauna and do like 20 minutes in the sauna and then another 2-3 minutes in the cold plunge. Like, I just feel good. My skin, go into the steam room as well. Your skin just looks amazing. So for me, no, I'm on my health journey. I'm continuing with it. I bought myself a nice little treadmill to make sure that I'm hitting my minimum of 10K steps a day.
Okay. Good.
I'm on it. I'm on my deen, as my Muslims would say. I'm on my deen. I'm 100% on it.
Okay.
So there's no falling off because I want to look good. My dad, he suffers. I say suffer. He's got diabetes.
Okay. Yep.
And other members in my family have diabetes. One of my uncles, he lost his limb because of gangrene.
Right. Okay.
Because of his foot. I'm like, there's no way. I'm learning the mistakes from the ancestors. Like, these are your mistakes. And they like drinking. I don't know if you know about Nestle's milk. Nestle's like the tinned milk.
Right.
It's condensed milk.
Condensed milk. Yeah.
It's sugar.
Oh, yeah.
You're literally feeding yourself diabetes. They live off that type of drinks. I'm like, nah. And that's why I was heavy on keto because I realized our diet, African and Caribbeans, it's heavy with carbs, which is giving you diabetes. It's heavy on the rice because, when you read, this is another thing now, I'm reading the packages to see, this is the portion sizes. And I'm like, huh? Like, literally, we eat 4 times that portion size as a meal. And that's all carbs. And I'm like, nah, we need to, like, as a culture, as a community, as an ethnicity, we need to fix up because us, the BAME, blacks and Asians, we suffer the most from diabetes. And it's the food that you're eating.
We're suffering from it too, mate.
Yeah. Not as bad, though. Not as bad.
Maybe not as bad. But
yeah.
I mean, I think it's across society in general these days. And I think it's the processed food that's the worst.
100%.
On one of the episodes of Steak Insanity, I talk about, I watched a documentary. And I thought it was going to be about diet and health, and it turned out to be like a vegan propaganda show. I don't want to hear that. But what was interesting is they saw basically the same results from people going on the vegan diet as people get on carnivore.
Yes,
and
because of the processed food.
Obvious to me that it doesn't really matter which one you do. Some people do better on a vegan diet. And some people do better on a carnivore diet. And it's just about your body type and what you like and how your body reacts to stuff.
Yeah.
Find whichever one works for you and do that.
And do it. Yeah.
But it's the processed food that's the worst bit. If you can just get off of that.
Plus sedentary living. Those two, because you're not moving enough.
But even if you can't move or don't want to move, as like my wife, like she just refused. She won't run. She like hates doing any sort of cardio stuff. She'll go lift weights, but she doesn't like doing anything else.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Yeah. But if you just fix the processed foods in your diet, I think that's a huge step forward.
Yeah. 100%.
And I mean, I saw somebody the other day was talking about, I think he's a bodybuilder, but I can't remember his name. He was like not one of the old bodybuilders that like everybody, not like Arnie and some of his compatriots, but like a newer one. But what he was saying is he said, look, just don't eat processed foods. Eat protein, vegetables, and fruits.
You can't.
And that's it.
That's it. You would never put on weight.
No milk.
Yep.
No dairy.
Oh no, I can't do that.
See,
but yeah, go ahead. Because my
like,
coffee is actually no, but I've been having black coffees as of late, But go ahead.
But don't get the lattes and the whatevers, right? Get if you're gonna do that, get an Americano and just put a little bit of milk in it.
Yeah.
So you've got a touch of milk so you feel better.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as drinking a glass of milk with a shot of coffee in it.
Yeah.
Which is what I like.
Yeah, I loved it.
But it's just really interesting. And again, no, that was his rule. No processed foods. Don't drink any soft drinks. Don't drink any fruit juices.
Yep.
None of that's done. If you just drink water,
Mm-hmm.
have some coffee or tea if you want. Try and have it with as little milk as possible.
Yeah.
But basically just, fruits, vegetables, and protein.
Yeah,
And that's it.
that's it.
And, stay away from everything else.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
It
So
works.
that might be V2 of what I do.
Yeah.
But I on my channel specifically, I feel like I want to get back into it. And I think if I have a little bit of accountability of doing a daily update, even though I think it's quite boring, and no one I mean, I have like 435 subscribers.
That's a lot.
So if people want to go and just help me get to that 500, that'd be amazing. But
that's the first step to monetization, by the way.
Exactly. So if I could hit that level, that'd be fantastic.
So Family Tree, if you're here right now, can you let me just
give me some
steak? Let me go to your YouTube channel real quickly.
Steak and Sanity.
Steak and as in and.
Yeah, A-N-D. Sanity.
Boom. You got no.
It may have gone down.
No. There we are. Okay, I'm already subscribed. Literally, it says it already.
Nice. There you go.
Let's go here.
Yeah, you did me a solid before.
John, before you go, quickly, can you please hit the subscribe button on Steak and Sanity for me? Please do that for me, okay? I know we're going soon, but please hit that button. Yeah, but I've reintroduced carbs back into my life because of the whole gym. So I'm eating potatoes.
Yeah.
And I'm eating small amounts of rice as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only two carb source apart from oats.
Same.
I've had some oats. That's about
I
it.
take some of the sometimes I'll eat like Lizzie's cereal.
Okay. No.
So they have it's like a
Big Lizzo.
What's it called? It's kind of like granola.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But it's like the low sugar one. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take that and mix it with some yogurt.
Yeah.
But just a tiny amount.
Yeah.
But then it gives you a little bit of fiber and a little bit of carb again, but it's not wheat.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's kind of staying away. It's like seeds and nuts and that kind of thing, which is much better. So
and wraps. I eat wraps as well.
Right.
Wraps.
Okay. Well, that's wheat.
Yeah. There. Yeah. Yeah. I eat that.
But I eat rice, so that's my big thing. So I anywhere I go, there's like this Kokoro that's right by my office, so I go there most days of the week.
Yeah.
I basically have got them down to where they put like that much rice in the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, you don't get any extra other stuff, and I'm like, I don't care. Okay. I don't want it.
Yeah.
But a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Half a cup or less. Of rice, just to have a little bit.
Yep.
Is kind of nice, but
literally
I need to do a 2-week hardcore.
125 grams of rice.
Yeah.
And I mix some of my cauliflower rice in it as well.
There you go.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll come on another time in a couple of months, and hopefully I'll be a bit.
Yeah. Listen, we'll go gym together. I'll take you.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll take you.
All right, man. Let's go.
All right. So, family, we're about to log off right now because we're hungry. We've been talking about food. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for actually seeing, the studio and Titanstv and listening to my guest. I've forgotten your name right now.
David.
I was going to say that, but I've forgotten your name right now. And please make sure you go and subscribe to Steak and Sanity. You're not going to be, brain fog. I won't let you down. Like, trust me, go and subscribe to that.
And I will start posting again tomorrow.
Hey, see, okay, we need to keep each other accountable, okay? Because I want to make sure that I post regularly on Titanstv.
Okay.
And also for my podcast studio, I need to be putting out content. It's time. Let me start posting content as well. So yeah, hopefully we can keep each other accountable. But Family Tree, we're signing out right now. I'm glad that you guys were here with us, enjoyed the conversation. We're going to have much more like this in the future with your favorite teachers, lecturers, and scholars. So stay tuned and hit the like button, baby. Hit the like button. Oh, man. I'll catch you guys on another one. Peace and love. Yeah. Cool. That's it.
Nice one.
Nice. 224 views. See, I need to get back up on my